Akira was an ordinary gooner until he suddenly caught a strange sickness. However, when the new girl in class cures him with her drool, he decides to rizz her up so he can have more of her naughty juices. It all begins one day when Akira has a dream about tasting a mysterious liquid and wakes up feeling weird. As he drags himself to school, his teacher announces that a new transfer student will be joining them. Just then, a girl named Mikoto walks in, and everyone, including Akira, wonders why she has the same haircut as all the protagonists in animes. Mikoto then takes a seat next to Akira, and he offers to help her out if she has any questions, but Shoddy scene zones Akira in real time and unpacks her stuff, so Akira realizes that it's best to leave her alone. Later, during lunch, a couple of girls approach Mikoto to get to know her, but she tells them all to go away so she can sleep and dream about getting cracked by Naruto's multiple shadow clones. While Akira and the girls are speechless, Mikoto goes right back to dreaming. But just a few hours later, Mikoto bursts out laughing during the lecture, leaving everyone and their mama shocked by her weird behavior. After finally calming down, Mikoto apologizes and just says that she found something hilarious and refuses to elaborate further. From that day on, Akira and his classmates label Mikoto as the weird girl and decide to leave her alone. But then one day, after school, Akira runs to class to get his bag when he finds Mikoto fast asleep. Finding her completely hopeless, Akira shakes her awake so she can go home and not get diddled by the janitor. As Mikoto wakes up, Akira sees her eyes for the first time and is shocked by how cute she is, before telling her that she has drool on her chin. As Mikoto wipes her face and walks away, Akira notices that she has left a pool of saliva on her desk, which suddenly reminds him of the mysterious liquid from his dream. Before he can stop himself, he tastes Mikoto's drool and is surprised by how sweet it is, only to realize that he's chimping out and bolts home. Several hours later, Akira is still thinking about Mikoto, and he realizes he's been smitten by her cute face. That night, Akira dreams about dancing with Mikoto in a strange mechanical city. The next day during gym class, Akira suddenly comes down with a fever and collapses, while Mikoto watches all this from afar. 2 days later, their teacher tells everyone to pray for Akira, since his fever still hasn't gone down. Upon hearing this, Mikoto visits Akira after school, and the dude is surprised to see her in his room. Ignoring his reaction, Mikoto bluntly tells Akira that she knows he licked her drool, and before he can deny it, Mikoto asks him if it was sweet. At that point, Akira knows there's no point lying, so he blushes and says yes. After hearing this, Mikoto tells Akira to open his mouth, as she feeds him some of her drool, and Akira notices that his fever has gone down. Mikoto then tells Akira that her drool is addictive, and he was going through a withdrawal, which is why he feels better after having her mouth syrup. Just as Mikoto turns to leave, Akira asks Mikoto if she's an alien whose drool contains special chemicals. Mikoto bursts out laughing before throwing herself on Akira's bed, and assures him she's a normal girl. She then explains to Akira that he was lovesick, because he fell for her the moment he saw her eyes, so when he tasted her drool, he became obsessed, and craved more of her. After listening to Mikoto's crazy explanation, Akira is too stunned to speak, so Mikoto tells him to come to school, before saying peace out. The next day, Akira returns to school as usual, but later, when it's time to go home, Mikoto approaches Akira to feed him her drool. As Akira backs away, Mikoto reminds him that if he doesn't have her mouth slurpy, he'll get sick again, so he quietly licks her drool-coated finger. He then asks Mikoto if she was waiting for him all this time, and when she says yes, Akira becomes happy that Mikoto cared enough to wait for him. From then on, Akira and Mikoto meet after school to perform their freaky ritual, until Akira realizes that he's actually fallen in love with Mikoto. So one day Akira musters up his courage and tells Mikoto that he's in love with her. So she asks him to prove his love, which prompts Akira to kiss her, but Mikoto pulls back and tells Akira to be more original than that. After thinking for a moment, Akira shows Mikoto a picture of his childhood crush, and tells her that this picture is precious to him, because he has gooned to it daily. Mikoto is about to smack him when he suddenly tears the picture, and tells Mikoto that he doesn't need the photograph or his left hand, because he now has his beautiful girlfriend. Hearing this, Mikoto vomits more drool, and explains to a concerned Akira that she does this when she's really happy. She then tells Akira that the day she laughed like a freak was because a voice told her that Akira would be the first person who'd put her legs on his shoulders. While Akira is left speechless, Mikoto heads home after agreeing to be his boo thing. A month later, Akira wants to take his relationship with Mikoto to the next level, so he asks his friend Uno what he should do if he hypothetically gets a girlfriend. Ueno suggests he hold hands with her, so after school, Akira tries to grab Mikoto's hand, but she pulls away and says there is no need for them to do stupid stuff like this. Even though Akira is disappointed by Mikoto's rejection, he quietly licks her drool-covered finger until he becomes frustrated by the lack of plot in his life. So he turns to Ueno once again, telling him what he should do before holding hands with a girl. Ueno wonders if Akira really has a girlfriend, so he tells him to build communication with his girl by asking her questions about her hobbies and whether she supports Messi or Ronaldo. After school, Akira swallows Mikoto's drool and asks her what hobbies she has. When Mikoto reveals she's really into scissors, Akira looks at her dumbfounded, so Mikoto decides to show him what she means. After telling Akira to hold a piece of cloth, Mikoto takes out a pair of scissors from her peach protectors and cuts out a beautiful flower in the blink of an eye, leaving Akira completely shocked. He then asks Mikoto if it's okay for her to flash her undies to a man, and Mikoto casually tells him that she doesn't mind if it's him. Akira immediately feels better after hearing this, as he believes he has gotten slightly closer to his girlfriend. That night, Akira dreams about Mikoto, her scissors, and her white peach protectors. That morning, Akira wakes up, realizing it's wood o'clock inside his pants, so after taking care of his business, he heads to school. Later, in class, Akira can't stop thinking about Mikoto, so he looks forward to spending time with her after school. Several hours later, Akira is finally walking home with Mikoto when she offers him a candy, but Akira passes up on it, so she eats the candy herself. Mikoto then tells Akira she's going home, and he wonders if he did something to upset her since she didn't share her mouth juices with him today. Just then, Mikoto returns to give Akira the candy she had been sucking on, and this makes him so excited that he suddenly grabs Mikoto for a hug. Mikoto quickly breaks free and attacks the boxes behind Akira to show him that he could be next if he hugs her without permission again. While Mikoto walks away, Akira feels upset, as he just wants to do normal couple stuff with his shawty. The next day, Akira turns to Uno for help, so he hands him a couple of movie tickets and tells him that chicks love a cinema date. With high hopes, Akira later tells Mikoto to go to the movies with him, but she turns him down by saying she has somewhere to go on the weekend. She then offers Akira her drool, but he starts skulking and tells Mikoto that they never do anything couple-like. Mikoto insists that he has got it wrong, since they have their own special bond. To prove this, she tells Akira to come with her, and as she leads him to a forest, Akira wonders if he is about to become a murder victim. Soon, they arrive at an abandoned building, where Mikoto tells Akira to close his eyes. Despite being creeped out, Akira does as told, and after a second, Mikoto tells him to open his mouth. As she gives Akira her drool, his heart starts beating faster, and he tells Mikoto that his entire body is on fire. When his nose starts to bleed too, Mikoto reveals they are connected by her drool, and his heart is racing because she passed her excitement to him through her juices. What Akira doesn't know is that Mikoto is standing in front of him without her plot armor, as she tells him they don't need to do normal couple things, because they have their own unique bonds. After getting dressed again, Mikoto tells Akira it's time to go home. And on the way, Mikoto asks Akira if his heart is still beating. When he tells her that he feels better now, Mikoto admits that her own heart was beating fast because she was afraid he would open his eyes. Feeling curious, Akira asks what would have happened if he opened his eyes, so Mikoto brings out her scissors and slices up the notebook Akira was hiding behind. She then tells Akira that if he had broken his promise, he would have been minced meat by now. With that said, Mikoto apologizes for ruining his notebook, but Akira is just happy to be alive, so he tells Mikoto not to worry about it. Later that night, Akira has another weird dream where Mikoto is wearing a hat, moments before she rides his pony. The next day after school, Mikoto notices that Akira has been blushing since they started walking together, so she asks him what's the matter, but Akira refuses to answer, as he doesn't want to tell Mikoto he was doing naughty things to her. However, Mikoto doesn't take no for an answer, and shoves her finger in Akira's mouth so she can have his drool. After tasting his saliva, Mikoto starts blushing, and when her nose starts to bleed, Akira becomes worried and asks her if she is okay. Mikoto then tells Akira that while he can dream about her in a naughty way, he should know that if they do get freaky with each other, she wouldn't be wearing a stupid hat. For a second, Akira doesn't understand what's happening until he realizes that Mikoto is talking about his dream. So he excitedly asks Mikoto if she knows the position they did it in, but she refuses to answer his question and runs off home. As Akira chases after her, he thinks to himself that if he had to describe Mikoto, he would say she is his mysterious girlfriend. A few days later, Akira is done with cleaning duties and heads to class, where he accidentally catches Ueno making out with a tomboy named Oka. As Akira ends up tripping in shock, Ueno quickly backs away from Oka and rushes to ask Akira if he saw him practicing French on Oka's lips. Akira admits that he accidentally saw the whole thing, causing Ueno to reveal that he has actually been going out with Oka since the first year. While Akira is processing this shocking news, Ueno begs not to tell anyone in class about Oka, and Akira agrees to keep his secret, still in shock that his virgin friend broke up with his hand to date a baddie like Oka. The next day, Akira is still thinking about Ueno's relationship and wonders how they became a couple since no one has seen them together. However, he suddenly remembers that he's also in a secret relationship with Mikoto and wonders if he will ever get to kiss her soft lips. After school, Mikoto and Akira are walking home together when she tells him to stop at the park so they can finish their homework together. Akira then shares the news of Oka and Ueno's relationship with Mikoto and how they have already kissed, but when Akira realizes that she's not interested, he becomes upset. Then suddenly, Mikoto asks Akira if he wants to kiss her too, and after hesitating a little, Akira nods yes. Hearing this, Mikoto pulls a test tube out of her bag and suddenly strikes a Sailor Moon pose, before looking up at Akira with a shy face. As Mikoto pours her fluids inside the tube, Akira wonders what in the witchcraft is going on, as she hands him the tube and tells him to drink it before sleep. While Akira is shocked by all this, Mikoto continues to do her homework as if nothing happened. That night, Akira tells his sister, Yoko, that he's going to bed early because he's tired. In reality, he is just excited to get his daily dose of Mikoto's juices. Sitting in bed, Akira licks the saliva out of the test tube and wonders why Mikoto's drool tastes so sweet. Akira dreams about walking home with Mikoto when she stops to eat a candy. When Akira asks for one, Mikoto suddenly kisses him and transfers the candy from her mouth to his. However, this leaves Akira in shock, and he asks Mikoto why she would suddenly kiss him, so Mikoto tells him that it's because she doesn't want him to be jealous of his friend. However, Akira tells Mikoto their first kiss shouldn't be a surprise attack, and should only happen if they have true feelings for each other. That morning, Akira wakes up remembering his dream and heads to school, where he finds Mikoto fast asleep, drooling on her desk as usual. However, after looking at her lips, Akira's heart starts running faster than Usain Bolt. After school, Akira is about to share the dream with Mikoto, but she stops him and takes him to a park where she asks him if he would like to kiss. Even though Akira's wee-wee wants him to say yes, he tells Mikoto that they should kiss when they understand each other's feelings better. Hearing this, Mikoto smiles and looks at Akira with her ugly eyes, telling him that she also feels the same way. However, Akira is now wondering how he should understand Mikoto's feelings better, so he tries to mimic her actions, but ends up making a huge fool out of himself in class. Later on, Akira catches a boy named Ogata eyeing his girl, and before he knows it, he's watching Ogata go after Mikoto. Outside, Ogata takes the trash bin from Mikoto and tells her to come with her as he needs to talk to her about something. As Mikoto follows him, Ogata confesses that he has feelings for her and asks her to go out with him. After school, Mikoto feeds Akira her mouth Slurpee, and then tells him that Ogata asked her out. Shocked by this, Akira asks Mikoto for details, so she tells him that Ogata told her that she was mysterious and different from the girls in their class, and that's why he has been interested in her since she joined. He also said that going out wasn't a big deal, and they could get to know each other by going home together. Presently, Akira asks Mikoto what her response was, and she tells him that she will give her answer to Ogata tomorrow, but this leaves Akira feeling jealous. So he tells Mikoto that he will tell Ogata that she is with him. However, Mikoto strictly forbids Akira to do that, claiming that it's her problem to deal with. Mikoto then tells Akira they'll talk tomorrow and walks away, leaving the poor boy completely confused. Later that night, Akira has a hard time sleeping, as he's still furious with Mikoto for not rejecting Ogata on the spot. He then remembers that Ogata is on the soccer team, and all the girls are crazy about his sausage, which further annoys Akira, because he thinks Mikoto is waiting to decide whether she should be with him or the Chad. The next morning, Mikoto gets ready for school and decides to forsake her peach protectors to experience cheap thrills. And after finally reaching school, Mikoto gets so tired that she ends up falling asleep. Later, during lunch break, Mikoto leaves the classroom, and Akira sees Ogata following Mikoto, which annoys him so much that he ends up stress eating Ueno's lunch. Meanwhile, Ogata asks Mikoto to give him an answer, so she tells him to close his eyes. When Ogata does as told, Mikoto covers her finger with her juices and feeds it to Ogata. She then asks Ogata if his body feels any different, but when he says no, Mikoto smiles and tells him that he can never be her boyfriend. Later that day, Akira can no longer wait, so he asks Mikoto what she told Ogata. Mikoto replies that she rejected him, which fills Akira with relief, and he admits that he thought she was buying time because she couldn't decide whether she wanted him or Ogata. In response, Mikoto orders Akira to open his mouth, and when she gives him her nectar, Akira's nose starts to bleed, shocking them both. Mikoto then gives Akira her peach protectors, revealing that she's not wearing anything underneath her skirt. While Akira is taken aback, Mikoto reveals that she delayed her answer because she wanted to see how Ogata would respond to her drool, since she was feeling freaky today. However, when Ogata's body didn't react, Mikoto knew he wasn't the one. She then tells Akira that since he had a nosebleed, it means they understand each other's feelings now, and this leaves Akira so happy that he tries to hug Mikoto without permission. Mikoto quickly dodges him and is about to reach for her scissors when she realizes she's not wearing her undergarments today, which means her scissors are not where they're supposed to be. Then, for the first time, Mikoto holds hands with Akira while he holds on to her white undies. A few days later, Akira finds Ueno smiling like an idiot, so he asks him what's going on. Ueno then reveals that he is excited because summers are finally here, so he will get to see Oka's hot body in her gym uniform. However, Akira can't help but think that he is friends with a moron, until Ueno tells him that when he gets a girlfriend, he'll understand what he means then. Akira's eyes instantly land on Mikoto, and when he imagines her wearing those tight shorts, he becomes just as excited as Ueno. Just then, Oka stops by Mikoto's table and asks her if she wants to have lunch together. This shocks everyone, including Akira and Ueno, since nobody ever approaches Mikoto anymore. Meanwhile, Mikoto tells Aka not to wake her up, but Aka asks her if she can at least sit on the same stable table as her. Mikoto tells her to go ahead and falls right back to sleep until Oka opens her lunchbox. She admits to Oka that her food smells really good, and Oka reveals that she personally took classes from Gordon Ramsay. She then offers to feed Mikoto, while Ueno and Akira are shocked to see Mikoto interacting with Oka. Later that day, Akira asks Mikoto if something happened between her and Oka, but Mikoto reveals that today was the first time she talked to her. While Akira is surprised, he admits that it was nice seeing her talk to a girl since she doesn't have any friends. Mikoto then replies that she doesn't need any friends because she has her boyfriend and leaves Akira blushing. As Mikoto feeds him her mouth juices for the day, Akira realizes that it tastes like omelette, and that night, Akira dreams of Mikoto feeding him omelette. By the next morning, Akira can still taste the omelette in his mouth, while Ueno tells him that he's looking forward to watching Oka in her gym uniform. Meanwhile, in the girls' locker room, Oku gets praised for having large bazookas, while the boys learn they'll have indoor class and the girls will have track practice outside. Then, during the relay race, a girl ends up getting tangled with Mikoto, causing her to fall and scrape her knee. As the girl apologizes profusely, Mikoto assures her that it's not a big deal, when Oka arrives and tells Mikoto to come with her to the nurse's office. At the same time, Ueno gives Akira the 90s wife treatment during the judo class. Meanwhile, the girls are unable to find the nurse, so Oka decides to patch Mikoto's leg herself. After that, Oka shares a drink with Mikoto and tells her that she wants to become friends with her. However, Mikoto bluntly says that she doesn't want any friends, so Oka tells her that she'll be there for her in case she changes her mind. With that, Oka turns to leave, when Mikoto notices that Oka's right knee is bleeding just like hers. After their initial surprise, Mikoto decides to test something out. She cuts her hand and orders Oka to lick her drool-coated finger. Oka hesitates at first, but when Mikoto tells her to hurry, she quietly puts her finger inside her mouth. Just then, a cut appears on Oka's hand, and this confirms Mikoto's suspicions, so she tells Oka that when she drank from the same bottle as hers, she must have swallowed some of her drool, and because of that, they are now deeply connected. While Mikoto is apologetic for causing Oka pain twice, Oka thinks this is a sign for them to be friends, but Mikoto tells her that she's wrong because someone else is also connected to her through her juices. Asha asks if it's Akira, revealing that one day she took a different route home, and saw her feeding Akira her mouth Slurpee. In the present, Okyu tells Mikoto that she's fascinated with her, and wants to become friends with her. She also adds that she considered becoming friends with Akira first, but then thought it would be too problematic since she also has a boyfriend. While Mikoto is quietly wondering who ordered a cappuccino, Oka asks her what happens when she shares her drool with Akira. Mikoto replies that her emotional and physical state is transferred to Akira through her juices, and sometimes they don't even need to speak, as they can understand each other's feelings by sharing drool. As Mikoto turns to leave, she tells Oki she doesn't need her as a friend because she already has Akira. Later that afternoon, Mikoto gives Akira his daily potion of mouth juice when he suddenly winces in pain because of Mikoto's injuries. The next morning, Uno excitedly tells Akira that he's going to ask Oka to have lunch with him, but Akira reminds him that if he does it in front of everyone, everyone will know he's dating her. That's when Uno reveals that he's going to use telepathy to get Oka to sneak out with him. Later during lunch, Uno looks at Oka like a special needs boy, when all of a sudden Mikoto walks out of class, and Oka follows soon after. Believing his telepathy has worked, Uno quickly sneaks out of class, only to realize that Oka has ghosted him. Meanwhile, Okyu approaches Mikoto and tells her that there's something she needs to ask her. However, instead of using words like normal people, Oka tells Mikoto to taste her mouth water. As Mikoto licks Oka's finger, she suddenly starts to blush and tells her that she has never tasted anything so sweet before. Oka then reveals that right before she coated her finger with her juices, she recalled the kiss she had with Ono. Oka then asks Mikoto if she has ever kissed Akira, but when she remains quiet, Oka changes the subject and asks Mikoto to have lunch with her. Suddenly, Mikoto's stomach starts to growl, and she explains to Oka that she has never felt hungry before. Oka tells Mikoto that from now on, they should have lunch together, because even if she doesn't want to be friends with her, they can still get along with each other. In the meantime, Ono is crying to Akira about not having lunch with Oko when they catch Oko feeding a wainer to Mikoto. A couple of days later, the boys are playing soccer, but somehow, everyone keeps missing the goal. Like everyone else, Ueno also kicks the ball too far and hurries away to get it back. Turns out, this was a scheme to spy on the girls in their swimsuits. As Ueno eyes Aka's large melons, he returns to the boys with a big smirk and shares with them Aka's measurements. Once it's Akira's turn, the boys tell him to get Mikoto's measurements, and he promises to do his best. However, when it's time for him to kick the ball, Akira notices Mikoto in the distance and ends up losing his balance, along with his chance to see her hot body. Later, on the way home, Akira is still upset about not getting to see Mikoto in a swimsuit when she suddenly tells him to stop by the park. As Mikoto is standing there, Akira realizes she is sweating and starts sniffing her around like a dirty dog until he catches Mikoto looking at him with anger. Suddenly, she pulls her scissors and is about to attack Akira when it starts to pour, and they realize they don't have an umbrella. As they take shelter beneath a big tree, Mikoto gets closer to Akira, so she doesn't get wet by the rain. Meanwhile, Akira nearly creams himself as he sniffs Mikoto, and asks if she is wearing perfume today. However, Mikoto tells Akira that she doesn't use such stuff, and after smelling her armpits, she tells him that she's actually sweating like a pig today. Just then, Mikoto licks her arm and says that her sweat reminds her of the sea. Upon hearing this, Akira asks Mikoto if she loves the sea, and she reveals that she goes swimming in the ocean every year. When Mikoto asks Akira if he wants to lick her arm, he instantly jumps on the offer and goes for a lick. Suddenly, Akira's body heats up as he imagines Mikoto at the ocean, wearing a cute bikini. This makes him wonder if he can sense what's going on in Mikoto's mind, not just through her drool, but also her sweat. Then, gathering some courage, Akira asks Mikoto if she would like to go to the beach with him during summer vacation. Mikoto agrees, and Akira becomes happy. However, when their vacation starts, Mikoto comes to meet Akira only to feed him her drool, and before Akira can ask her out, she cycles away, leaving Akira with blue balls. Then one day, Akira finally mans up and reminds Mikoto that they had a beach date. Mikoto, however, tells Akira that she is going on a vacation with her father, so she won't be available for a few days. Noticing how sad Akira looks, Mikoto tells him they can go to the beach next week, and he immediately perks up after that. That day, Akira goes home with a stupid grin on his face, which doesn't go unnoticed by Yoko, who tells him that he is smiling like a madman. Akira doesn't know what Yoko is saying until he catches his reflection in the mirror and realizes that he really can't stop smiling. Later that night, Akira dreams of Mikoto at the ocean. Until their date, Akira has the same dream of Mikoto in her cute bikini. When the day finally arrives, Akira rushes to the train station, where he finds Mikoto already waiting for him. Upon seeing Mikoto, Akira realizes that she has gotten so tan that she can practically say the N-word. Inside the train, Akira takes a good look at Mikoto and thinks that she looks incredibly hot with her tan. Soon after, they arrive at the beach, and the moment Akira sees Mikoto in her bikini, he turns into a crayon who cannot use proper words. Meanwhile, Mikoto asks Akira if he wants to eat something, since they will need energy for swimming. Akira agrees and heads to buy some noodles with Mikoto when he overhears a guy telling his girlfriend that he will pay for her meal. Just when Akira is about to riz Mikoto with the same line, he realizes that Mikoto has already gotten food for both of them. As they sit down to eat, Akira realizes Mikoto has gotten a bigger plate for herself, so he tells her that he feels like he is the girlfriend. In response, Mikoto tells Akira to open his mouth wide, so she can feed him. As Akira gets fed by Mikoto, he realizes that all his fantasies are finally coming true. Moments later, they head to the ocean where Mikoto swims ahead, while Akira struggles to keep up with her. Mikoto then tells Akira that she has been swimming since childhood, so she has naturally gotten good at swimming. However, she promises to keep her pace slow so he can keep up with her. Eventually, Akira decides to have fun of his own, so he goes underwater to look at Mikoto's figure. He quickly realizes that Mikoto has a model figure, and wishes that her Peryu would disappear so he can see her cake factory. Eventually, Mikoto stops to catch her breath and notices Akira staring at her lower half like a creepy uncle. When she asks him what he is doing, Akira nervously tells Mikoto that he was just admiring her Peryu. Hearing this, Mikoto reveals that she usually doesn't wear one, but when she was staying at her dad's beach house, she swam with her scissors and ended up getting a tan line from her scissors. When she removes her Peryu to show Akira what she means, he ends up getting a nosebleed because of how hot she is. To hide his freaky thoughts, Akira tells Mikoto that he is swimming back to the shore, leaving her completely confused. Later, on the train, Akira asks Mikoto if she had fun, and after saying yes, she asks if he had a good time as well. Akira hesitantly says yes, since he's trying his best not to get any nasty thoughts regarding Mikoto. Just then, Mikoto puts her finger inside Akira's mouth to know what he's thinking about, and ends up getting a nosebleed after learning that he is having naughty thoughts about her. She then asks Akira if he wants to see her tan line again, and when he says yes, Mikoto tells her that they can come to the beach again next year, making Akira a very happy man. Days later, Akira runs into Oka while doing some shopping in the city, and she invites him to have ice cream with her. However, out of respect for his friend, Akira tries to decline, but Oka insists that running into a classmate is rare and ends up convincing him. Moments later, they arrive at a cafe where Oka buys ice cream for them both, while Akira thinks to himself that Oka is a fun-sized baddie with huge tomatoes. He then asks Oka if it's okay for them to be hanging out like this, because if Ono finds out, they might end up in trouble. Oka assures Akira that he doesn't need to worry because Ono thinks he is an ugly twink. Upon hearing this, Akira gets annoyed and asks Oka if this was supposed to be a compliment, and she tells him that it's the truth. Akira then realizes that Oka is on a first-name basis with her boyfriend and imagines Mikoto calling him by his first name as well. However, Akira quickly realizes that Mikoto would never be so frank with him when Oka suddenly whispers his name in his ear, giving Akira a shock and a stiffy at once. Akira angrily asks Oka why she did that, and Oka responds by licking his sweat and calling it sweet, before asking Akira if he was imagining his crush calling him by his first name, but Akira shyly denies the allegations. The next day at school, Akira and Uno vent about summer break ending too soon, when Akira asks Uno if Oka told him about yesterday. However, Ueno doesn't know what Akira is talking about, so he asks him what he means, but Akira tells him to forget about it. Ueno then notices his tan and asks if he went to the beach with his girlfriend, which makes Akira so flustered that he tells Ueno he went with his sister. While Uno is teasing Akira, Mikoto hangs out with Oka, who tells her everything about yesterday, claiming that Akira definitely wants her to call him by his first name. When Mikoto remains silent, Oka decides to find out what she's thinking by having her mouth water. Oka suddenly starts blushing and realizes that Mikoto was imagining Akira calling her by her first name. As Oka starts teasing Mikoto, she gets up and tells Oka that it's none of her business. However, Oka catches Mikoto blushing and develops a slight crush on her. After school, Akira and Mikoto are walking home when Akira complains about the heat and tells Mikoto they should rest at the park. Mikoto goes ahead while Akira runs to get drinks for them both, and when he returns, he finds Mikoto fast asleep on the bench. After admiring her for a moment, Akira tries to wake Mikoto, but after several attempts, he realizes that Mikoto is in a deep sleep. So he decides to whisper her first name, which brings Mikoto back to life, and Akira notices that she's smiling. As Akira shyly hands the soda to Mikoto, she tries to ask him if he used her first name just now, but then tells him to forget about it. Meanwhile, Akira recalls how happy Mikoto looked, and concludes that she must have been happy to hear her name. So he tries to say her name again, but when he finds Mikoto looking at him, he freaks out and starts yapping about some midsummer cicadas. That night, Akira curses himself for sounding like an idiot in front of Mikoto, and wonders if it's too soon to do first name basis, even though the idiot has swallowed more of Mikoto's spit than his own. After recalling her smile, Akira falls asleep, thinking that he has scored a 10 out of 10 baddie. That night, Akira has a dream where he is with Mikoto in that strange mechanical city. He then tells Mikoto to say cheese, and captures a picture of her smiling brightly. Akira wakes up, remembering the dream, so he takes out his camera and realizes that it's finally time to put it to good use. So after school, Akira asks Mikoto if he can take a photo of her. When she asks why, Akira reveals that, as her boyfriend, he wants to have a picture of his girlfriend. Mikoto tells Akira that he can have as many photos as he likes, but when he gets ready to take the pictures, and tells Mikoto to smile, she bluntly tells him that she's not going to fake a smile. Disappointed, Akira says that he wanted a picture of her smiling, but Mikoto tells him that it's not going to happen, and walks away, leaving him stunned. The next day, after school, Akira is waiting for Mikoto when a girl called Aika greets him. Akira is taken aback for a second, because Aika has been his longtime crush until he fell for Mikoto. Aika, on the other hand, approaches Akira and says that she immediately recognized him since they worked in the student council together. She then asks Akira if he wants to grab a coffee together and catch up, but Akira politely declines, saying he is waiting for someone. After telling Akira they can hang out some other time, Aika walks away, while Akira wonders where the heck Mikoto is when he suddenly finds her sitting behind him. Shocked, Akira asks Mikoto how long she had been there, and she tells him that she has been here since he started happily talking to that girl. As Mikoto walks ahead of him, Akira awkwardly trails behind when Mikoto asks him if she was the same girl he had a crush on since junior high. Akira says yes, and then asks Mikoto if she would have been sad if he had said yes to Aika's coffee invitation. Mikoto remains quiet, which makes Akira panic, so he tells Mikoto that it was just a hypothetical question. Mikoto then asks Akira to open his mouth, and as she gives him her drool, Akira suddenly tears up. Mikoto then tells Akira that if he had gone out with Aika, she would have been extremely sad that her boyfriend chose another girl over her. Hearing this, Akira admits that when he saw Aika, he thought she was beautiful, and it's a shame that he declined Aika's invitation. However, his feelings for Mikoto will never change, since she is the girl he loves. Upon hearing this, Mikoto smiles, and Akira tells her to hold on so he can capture her smile. Mikoto agrees, but just when Akira is about to click the button, she makes a funny face to tease him. However, Akira starts whining again, saying that he wants a picture of her smiling, but when Mikoto threatens to cut the picture, Akira tells him that he would treasure her picture forever, and puts it inside his wallet. Seeing this, Mikoto becomes so happy that she ends up vomiting her drool. A few days later, in the gym class, Mikoto races against the president of the track club, Yajima, and nearly beats her. Amazed by her speed, Oka tells Mikoto that she is the second fastest girl in their class when Yajima comes up to her and says she should join her club. However, Mikoto declines, stating she's not interested in joining any clubs, so Yajima asks Mikoto to consider participating in the relay race during the field day. She agrees, and later, after school, Akira tells Mikoto that he heard from their gym teacher that she is going to participate in the relay race with Yajima. He then asks Mikoto if she can keep up with Yajima since she won the city championship, but then remembers how fast Mikoto is with her scissors. Just then, Mikoto tells Akira that Yajima invited her to join the track club, but she turned her down, because she wouldn't be able to go home with him. Akira is so touched by this that he tries to hug Mikoto, but the girl moves like the wind, warning Akira to never again touch her without permission. The next day, during lunch, Mikoto practices for the relay race. When she stops to take a break, Oka offers her some water and asks if she is going to join the track club. Mikoto tells her no, and Oka teases her by saying that she could be as fast as the Flash with proper training, but she is giving up all that so Akira can have her juicy drumsticks to himself. Mikoto immediately tells Oka that her legs don't belong to Akira, but Okyu clocks her by saying that the only reason she's practicing during lunch is that she wants to go home with Akira. Mikoto suddenly feels embarrassed, so she runs off to practice while Oka giggles to herself. Meanwhile, Akira admires Mikoto from afar as she sweats hard on the field. That night, Yoko hands Akira his dry-cleaned winter uniform, and once he leaves, she shuts the door to try on her old uniform to relive the time when she was getting cracked by the janitor. Meanwhile, inside his room, Akira thinks about how Mikoto has been getting along with Oka and the other girls from the track club, which makes him a little jealous because he feels like he's sharing Mikoto with everyone. The next day at school, Mikoto finds Akira's seat empty, and later finds out through Oka that he has a bad cold, which means he won't be able to see Mikoto race in the field day. When Aka asks Mikoto if she is sad about the whole thing, she tells Aka that it's none of her business. However, Oka ignores this and asks Mikoto if she will visit her sick boyfriend, revealing that when Uno got sick, she did something to cure his cold. Just then, the bell starts ringing, and as Oka gets up, Mikoto asks what she did to help Uno, so Oka whispers something in her ear, which leaves her kinda shocked. That evening, Mikoto visits Akira's house and is greeted by Yoko, who takes Mikoto to Akira's room. Seeing his girlfriend, Akira quickly throws away his sick towel to look tough in front of his baddie. As Mikoto takes a seat next to Akira, he tells her that he's reminded of the time when she first came to his house. However, Mikoto tells him that this time he really has a cold, so her drool won't fix it. While Akira is bummed to hear this, Mikoto tells him to take his usual potion of drool. Suddenly, Akira finds himself in a sunflower field and excitedly tells Mikoto that he just saw the bright summer sun, and thanks to it, he no longer feels chilly. Akira then thanks Mikoto for fixing his sickness, because now he can attend the field day and see her run. Realizing her job is done, Mikoto walks home, bringing her coat close to her face. After finally reaching home, Mikoto thinks how weird it is that Akira felt warm after tasting her drool, when she had been freezing the whole time because she was wearing nothing but a bikini. The next day, the field day is going smoothly, as Oka tells Mikoto she is glad to see Akira in good health. Mikoto tells her that it's all thanks to her because she took her advice, which prompts Oka to remember what happened with Ono. A few days ago, when Ono was bedridden because of a cold, Oka came to visit him and asked if there was something she could do for him. Without wasting a second, Ueno told Oka that he wanted to see her in a bikini. Oka agreed, went home, and came back in her swimsuit, which instantly energized Ueno, who lunged to hug Oka, but she quickly backed off and told Ueno that if he tried to diddle her, she would break up with him on the spot. Presently, Oka asks Mikoto if Akira saw her in her bikini, and Mikoto reveals that while she was wearing it underneath her coat, she didn't show it to Akira. This leaves Oka confused, as she asks Mikoto if she has any special reasons for hiding her body. When Mikoto refuses to answer, Oka forces her finger inside Mikoto's mouth, and after tasting her juices, she learns Mikoto is just embarrassed, which shocks her a little since she thought Mikoto was a freak. Just then, the announcer tells the participants to get ready for the relay race, and Oka pats Mikoto on the legs, telling her that today her golden drumsticks belong to the whole class. As Mikoto prepares for the race, Akira overhears the boys in his class talking about how they want to put Mikoto's legs on their shoulders. Just when Akira is about to lash out, he sees Oka cheering hard for Mikoto, so he forgets about everything and focuses on cheering for Mikoto. Soon enough, Mikoto wins the race and earns praise from everyone, including Yajima, who once again invites him to join the track club, claiming that she shouldn't let this talent go to waste. However, this time, Mikoto wants to say yes, but hesitates to do so as she looks at Akira. Later that evening, Akira stops by his shoe locker and realizes his name tag is missing. Finding it weird, he heads to meet Mikoto and tells her to join the track club, since it's obvious she was born to run. Mikoto remains quiet and instead feeds Akira her mouth Slurpee, which makes him smile like an idiot. She then tells Akira that it's obvious he doesn't want her joining the track club before lifting her skirt to reveal his name tag pasted on her leg. While Akira's little Johnny is going crazy at the sight, Mikoto tells him that it's more fun to walk home with him than building a successful career in the track team. Akira is so touched by this that he tries to hug Mikoto, but she dashes out of his grasp and tells him they should race to the park. As Akira starts chasing Mikoto, he admits to himself that he wants Mikoto's legs and all her mysteries for himself. One autumn night, Akira dreams about Mikoto telling him to squeeze her melons. The next morning, Akira wakes up still remembering the feeling of Mikoto's soft milkers in his hand, so he starts imagining how good they would feel in real life. Just when he realizes that his third leg is acting up too much, Akira decides to go touch grass, since he doesn't want to have a hand workout early in the morning. As he heads downstairs, Yoko offers him some meat buns, but all Akira can think of is Mikoto's buns, so he hurries to the bookshop to read some Shakespeare, but ends up coming across only Playboys. Frustrated by this, Akira decides to roam around the town, and he eventually ends up on the bridge where he and Mikoto part ways. With nothing to do, Akira heads in the direction of Mikoto's house, and soon comes across a large building. While observing it, Akira thinks that there is no way Mikoto would live in a place like this. When Mikoto shows up and asks what he is doing in front of her building, Akira is shocked that Mikoto lives here, so he nervously tells her he was just in the neighborhood to make sure he doesn't sound like an obsessed stalker. Just when Akira turns to leave, Mikoto invites him to have tea with her since she is 1% British. As they head inside the elevator, Akira thinks that it's an achievement to finally see Mikoto's place. As Mikoto leads Akira inside her apartment, he asks her where her parents are, so Mikoto tells him that nobody is home today, which makes Akira curious about Mikoto's family. Meanwhile, Mikoto removes her coat, revealing her mighty jigglers, causing Akira to twitch out. While she excuses herself to make tea, Akira tries to cool his baby carrot until he recalls the dream again. Hoping to clear his nasty thoughts, Akira examines Mikoto's room, and his eyes land on her bed. Unable to contain himself, he starts sniffing her bedsheets when Mikoto returns with the tea and asks him what he's doing. Caught red-handed, Akira quickly lies by saying that he was just examining the mattress so he could buy one for himself. As they quietly sip tea, Mikoto asks Akira if he wants to ask her something, but tells her no, even though he is desperate to know her cup size. All of a sudden, they notice that the clouds have turned dark, and it's about to rain. As Mikoto gets up to switch on the lights, a sudden thunderstrike startles her, causing her to fall on Akira's lap. While he is checking up on her, he notices that his hands are dangerously close to her bust. Just as Akira goes for a touch, Mikoto dashes out of his reach and threatens him to cut his family jewels if he doesn't tell her what's going on. Akira finally confesses that he had a dream where he was squeezing her stress balls, and since then, it's all he can think of. Hearing this, Mikoto cups one of her girls while she sucks on her finger, before telling Akira to lick her finger. She then asks Akira if her frontal lobe feels the same as his dream, and he starts to tear up as he tells Mikoto that apes are God's best creation. Seeing this, Mikoto tells Akira that he doesn't need to get all emotional on her, and he can touch her bazookas if he is that desperate. However, Akira freaks out and says that he doesn't want to push her into doing something she's not up for, so she tells him that she'll count to 3, and after that, he won't have the opportunity to diddle. Just when Mikoto starts the countdown, Akira places his hand on her chest. As things get too intense for Akira, he ends up pinning Mikoto down and starts to lick her ear, while Mikoto struggles to push him away. Just when Akira is about to kiss Mikoto, he notices the tears in her eyes and realizes he has royally messed up everything. When he asks Mikoto if she is mad at him, she tells him no, but the guilt of making Mikoto cry overpowers Akira so much that he runs off in the rain, leaving Mikoto on the floor. The next day, at school, Oka is sharing her lunch with Mikoto, who then gives Oka her mouth juice as a thank you. However, after tasting it, Oka suddenly starts blushing and tells Mikoto that her body feels freakishly hot. This could only mean one thing, so Oka quickly asks Mikoto if she tried to build plot with Akira. Instead of saying yes, Mikoto tells Oka that her body felt different when she was with Akira yesterday. Oka, in reply, tells Mikoto not to worry, since a woman's body changes when she is in love. When Mikoto asks Oka if something like this has happened between her and Oano, she reveals that her sprinkler goes off the minute Oano gets close to her. After hearing this, Mikoto runs off to cool herself, while Oka wonders if she and Ono need to do more spicy things to beat Mikoto and Akira's record. Meanwhile, in an alley, Mikoto touches the spot licked by Akira and becomes wetter than the Niagara Falls. Later in class, Akira is still beating himself for what he did to Mikoto, so after school, when Mikoto prepares a regular mouth slurpee for Akira, he refuses, saying he has no right to have her drool since he made her cry. He then asks Mikoto to punish him by slapping him hard, but she tells him that her slaps are really painful. As Akira braces himself, Mikoto slaps him and then tells him to touch her ear. When he does that, Mikoto starts crying and says that ever since he touched her, her body craves more of him. She then tastes Akira's drool, transferring the pain and the bruise of the slap to herself, as she tells Akira she's equally responsible for what happened yesterday. Caressing her face, Akira tells Mikoto that he doesn't want to see a bruise on her beautiful face, and this makes Mikoto blush so hard that she quickly gives Akira her drool and runs away. The next day, Mikoto arrives at class, and Akira immediately notices that her hair looks like a bird's nest, and he wishes that she would take better care of herself since she is so cute. Just then, Oka greets Mikoto, and after noticing Mikoto's hair, she offers to fix it for her. A few seconds later, Oka gives Mikoto a new hairstyle, one where her bangs no longer cover her face. As Mikoto returns to class, everyone is amazed by her new look, including Akira. During the gym class, all the boys are talking about how cute Mikoto looks, which annoys Akira. So after school, he tells Mikoto to go back to her old hairstyle because Akira believes that only he has earned the privilege to see Mikoto's face. Just then, Mikoto removes her hair ties and tells Akira to mess up her hair. After Akira is done ruining her hair, Mikoto tells him that she would only wear her hair the way he likes it, which makes Akira really happy. The next day, during lunch, Oka arrives with her hair tools, but Mikoto tells her that she doesn't want a new hairstyle. Oka insists, but then realizes that Akira must have told Mikoto to keep her hair messy to protect his precious Bitcoin. While Mikoto is surprised to hear this, Oka tastes some of her fluids and starts blushing. She then asks Mikoto if something happened between them, and Mikoto reveals that Akira did something that felt really good. This leaves Oka more curious, so Mikoto messes up her hair and says that Akira did this to her, and it felt amazing. After school, Oka asks Oeno to hold her head and mess her hair up. Even though Oeno is confused, he does as told, and Oku admits that getting her hair messed up by the person she likes is kinda hot. A couple of days later, one of the boys tells everyone that he has Mikoto's pictures from the day she tied her hair. When he puts them on sale, Akira starts fuming as he watches other guys purchasing his girlfriend's pictures right in front of his eyes. Just then, Ueno asks Akira if he has explosive diarrhea, since his face is all twisted up. As Akira returns to his normal self, the guy selling Mikoto's pictures asks him if he wants one too. However, Akira's pride as Mikoto's boyfriend stops him from purchasing a picture taken by another guy, even though he really wants one. Just then, one of the guys noticed that Mikoto looks like Imai Momoeka, a popular idol that every guy is currently gooning to. However, Akira doesn't know who Momoeka is, so he asks his boys about her, and they tell him that Momoeka is extremely popular because of her hot photo books. After school, Mikoto gives Akira her usual mouth slurpee, and leaves for home while Akira dashes to the bookstore, where he picks up a photo book of Momoeka. After taking a good look, he realizes that Momoeka really does look like Mikoto, so he decides to purchase the book. However, on the counter, Akira runs into Ueno, which makes him slightly nervous, so he tells him that he was purchasing the photo book because he wants to stan a poor idol and save her from getting duddled by fat rich men. With that, Akira dashes out of the store, leaving Ueno completely confused. After getting home, Akira goes through the photo book and immediately starts comparing Momoeka with Mikoto. He notes that while Momoeka has a bright smile, her pom-poms are smaller than Mikoto's. After going through the picture book, Akira hugs it tightly and says that he made a really good purchase. Meanwhile, Ono is walking home with Oka, when he tells her that the lads were selling Mikoto's pictures. Uka in response asks Ueno if he got some pictures too, but he shyly says no because he already has a baddie. Feeling satisfied, Oka then asks Ueno if Akira purchased Mikoto's pictures, and he tells her that while he didn't buy Mikoto's pictures, he purchased Imai Momoeka's photo book because she looks like Mikoto. The next day, Oka pins Mikoto's hair to her forehead and admits that she does look like Momoeka. Confused, Mikoto asks who that is, and Oka tells her everything, including the part where her boyfriend brought a whole photo book of the idol. After school, Mikoto gives Akira her mouth water, before asking him if he purchased Momoeka's photo book. He nervously says yes, and admits that he only got it because she looks like Mikoto. At this, Mikoto tells Akira to get the photo book since she wants to see it for herself. A few minutes later, Mikoto goes through the book, and then asks Akira which picture is his favorite. As Akira excitedly pulls a picture of Momoeka smiling, Mikoto tells him to stand straight and pulls her scissors, cutting the book to shreds. She then tells Akira that, as her boyfriend, he doesn't need to look at other women who look like her. With that said, Mikoto walks away, leaving Akira alone to realize that girls, too, get jealous. However, the following day, the scumbag is back at the bookstore to buy another photo book of Imai Momoeka. While looking at it, the idiot wonders why his girlfriend doesn't want him to look at other women, especially when they look like her. Just as he exits the bookstore, an unfamiliar girl greets Akira, and he soon realizes it's Aika with short hair. While walking together, Aika asks Akira about their old classmates, and Akira reveals that Ono has bagged himself a thick, petite baddie. Hearing this, Aika asks Akira if he also has a girlfriend, and he thinks about Mikoto before telling Aika that he's totally single. Aika is surprised to hear that, because back then, Akira would stare at her like she was the only girl in the whole world, but today, he barely recognized her with short hair, which is why she thought he had a girlfriend who made him forget all about her. Akira is in complete shock, because he thought Aika didn't know about his crush on her, but Aika reveals that she knew he was into her for 3 years, because he kept staring at her head instead of the blackboard. When Akira asks her how she knew this, Aika reveals that she had a mirror inside her pencil box, and she caught his reflection many times in it. Feeling embarrassed, Akira admits that he was staring at her head because her hair looked really nice, which causes Aika to ask if he ever thought about touching them. However, Akira refuses to answer that, so Aika tells him that her boyfriend recently broke up with her, and that's why she wanted to hear him simp for her. Akira realizes that Aika must be feeling low because of her breakup, so he becomes Captain Save-A-Ho, and tells Aika that this one time, when she left a hair strand behind, he took it home and preserved it in a plastic capsule so he could keep looking at it. Just when Akira regrets revealing such a creepy thing, Aika tells him that she's having fun talking to him, because he reminds her of the time when she took her ex-boyfriend's coffee mug home and kissed the spot where his lips had been. Akira then wonders if the movie Obsession was made on her, before telling Aika that he doesn't understand why her ex would break up with a girl who is cute and has a good personality. Akira smiles at the compliment, but then suddenly starts sobbing in front of Akira, making him realize that the breakup must have been tough. While trying to cheer Aika, Akira looks at her ugly, wet face and thinks that Aika is super cute. He then notices the drool on her face and becomes more attracted to her. Aika then asks Akira if they can keep hanging out, but all Akira can think about is how her drool will taste. So he tells Aika that they can hang out if she lets him taste her mouth juice. Not wanting to lose her simp, Aika agrees, but when she offers her juice, Akira recalls Mikoto's face and suddenly tears up, realizing that if he accepts another girl's drool, he may lose his bond with Mikoto. So he apologizes to Aika, claiming that Satan took over him for a moment, but she tells him that she knows he has a girlfriend, which is why he is reacting this way. As Akira tells Aika about Mikoto, she tempts him by saying that her drool could have been sweeter than hers, but when Aika realizes that Akira is not going to budge, she tells him that she understands and walks away, leaving him all confused. After getting home, Aika wonders what would have happened if Akira had tasted her drool. Meanwhile, Akira is planning on not telling Mikoto anything, but the next day, Aika tracks down Mikoto and is about to introduce herself when Mikoto tells Aika that she knows who she is and asks her to get to the point. So Aika hands Mikoto an invitation to her school's cultural festival and tells her to be there, because Akira will most definitely be there. That night, Akira rushes out of his house to meet Aika, and after finding Aika, he asks her what's going on, before noticing a band-aid on her face. Aika then reveals X wants to get back together, but when she refused, he turned into Muhammad Ali and punched her. Akira is furious at this, so Aika tells him to come to her school's festival because she's afraid her ex would attack her again. However, if he saw that she is with a new guy now, he may leave her alone. Akira asks Aika to be more clear, so she bluntly asks him to be her pretend boyfriend for a day. When Aika sees Akira hesitating, she looks at him like a damsel in distress, and he ends up saying yes to her. After thanking Akira, Aika runs to the playground where she washes the fake bruise from her face. The next day, Mikoto gives Akira the usual spit slurpee before asking him if he has any plans this Sunday. Akira lies and says he has a thing with Ono, and unfortunately, Mikoto believes his word. But the next day, Ocha tells Mikoto that she is going to the cultural festival with Ono, which shocks Mikoto, as she tells Oka that Akira told her he was hanging out with Ono on Sunday. At this, Oka tells Mikoto that Akira is definitely lying to her, because Ueno won't ditch her to hang out with his twink best friend. That Sunday, Akira arrives at Aika's school for the cultural festival and learns that it's costume-themed. Just then, Aika shows up in her old uniform, wearing a long hair wig, and tells Akira that she wanted to wear this for him, which makes him blush. She then grabs Akira's hand and drags him inside, and he lets her do it like a complete lovesick idiot. However, Akira soon realizes that Aika is getting too clingy, so he tells her to calm down a bit, but she insists they need to stick together because her ex could be watching. Around the same time, Oka and Oeno are exploring the festival when they come across a maid cafe. Oka insists on going, so Oeno tells her to go ahead while he takes a quick leak. Minutes later, Ono arrives at the cafe and takes a seat. When Oka arrives wearing a maid outfit, shocking Ono, Oka then reveals that the cafe organizers were nice enough to lend her the costume. She then squeezes her bazookas and complains about the dress being tight. At the same time, Oeno feels his pants tighten up until some boys come up to Oka to ask for her pictures. While she is posing for them, Oeno becomes jealous and walks out of the cafe, leaving Oka confused. Just then, Oka sees Akira with another baddie, which shocks her as she wonders why he is hanging out with a girl who's not Mikoto. Meanwhile, Aika takes Akira to an empty classroom, where she reminds him of the time they were working on something together, and he was about to hug her. Unbeknownst to them, Aika is listening to their conversation and realizes that Akira had a crush on Aika in the past. In the meantime, Aika tells Akira that he can hug her now, because she is the same girl he loved 3 years ago. However, when Aika realizes that Akira is hesitating, she asks him if his feelings were fake, that they faded away the moment he got a girlfriend. Throwing away her wig, Aika grabs Akira's hand, forcing him to caress her hair, and tells him that if he becomes her boyfriend, she will grow her hair again. Even though Akira is freaked out, he tells Aika that he can't be her boyfriend. But this hoe is persistent, so she licks her finger and tells Akira to taste her juice, before making his pick between her and Mikoto. Seeing all this, Oka takes out her camera to snap a photo, but then realizes that she should stop Akira before it's too late. Just then, a huge robot mascot stops Oka from barging in, and she immediately realizes that it's none other than Mikoto. Meanwhile, Akira tells Aika that he can't taste her fluids, and she tells him to stop running away from this. Just then, Mikoto barges in and tells Akira that Aika is right. Akira freezes in horror after realizing that Mikoto knows everything, but she tells him to taste Aika's fluid. However, before that, Mikoto blindfolds Akira and tells him that he'll have to guess whose drool he's tasting. With everyone on board, Mikoto and Aika do rock, paper, and scissors. Mikoto wins and gives Akira a taste of her drool, which gives him a major nosebleed. He instantly tells Mikoto that it's her drool and asks her if she's not wearing her plot armor. Mikoto then cuts the mascot, revealing her default skin, and tells Aika to remove her clothes. If her bond with Akira is real, then she should be able to give him a nosebleed as she did. Aika accepts the challenge and removes her plot armor, while Akira realizes that the only thing stopping him from looking at two hot chicks in their birthday suit is a stupid blindfold. Aika sucks her finger and prepares to give Akira her juice when she starts crying. Seeing this, Mikoto tells Aika that it's obvious she doesn't love Akira. When Akira adds that she's not thinking clearly because of her breakup, Aika breaks down and says that every time she has loved someone, they ended up liking someone else. Akira then tries to console Aika, claiming that he was happy when she asked him to be her boyfriend. Just when he's about to tell Aika that he's in love with Mikoto, Mikoto stops him. She then puts her finger inside Aika's mouth, and after tasting her mouth water, Mikoto assures Aika that someone will wife her up because her drool tastes super sweet. Akira hears this and starts having naughty thoughts about Aika's fluids until he remembers that his girlfriend is literally female Jack the Ripper. So, as Akira is shaking his nasty thoughts away, his blindfold drops on the floor, allowing him to see the Oppai buffet in front of him. Oka quickly enters the chat and tells the girls that Akira can see them, which makes them so shy that they both end up slapping Akira unconscious. Oka then scolds the girls for removing their plot armor, which makes Aika laugh, as she finally realizes that she looks like a stupid pick-me. Apologizing to Mikoto, Aika tells her that she had been depressed about her breakup, so the last few days had been really fun for her, as she got to see some really unique things. Aika even admits that she is jealous of Mikoto and Akira's bond, since it's rare for people to connect through their mouth fluids. Later that day, Akira and Mikoto are walking home when he nervously asks her if she is mad at him for linking up with Aika secretly. Mikoto replies that before she transferred schools, she was madly in love with another guy, and if he had asked her to meet her, she would have gone without telling him to. This knocks the air out of Akira's lungs when Mikoto turns around and says she was joking. She then tells Akira that if hearing a fake story made him sad, then he shouldn't hoe around behind her back. Realizing Mikoto is right, Akira bows his head in apology, and she tells him that if they kiss, it'll be her first. With that, Mikoto runs off after telling Akira that he's such a jerk. A few days later, Oka hands Mikoto scissors and a cardboard, so she can show her how to cut it like a boss babe, but Mikoto turns her down, and Oka changes the subject by telling Mikoto that Akira must be having a hard time controlling himself now that he has seen her body. When Mikoto starts blushing, Oka pulls a picture of her in her birthday suit and tells Mikoto that she looks so good she had to take a picture of her. Mikoto freaks out and demands the Four Eyes to give her the picture, but Oka refuses because she wants to sell the picture to fat Discord mods. Soon, Aku and Mikoto start fighting over the picture, so Mikoto pulls her scissors and completely destroys the picture. She then asks Oka if she made any copies, but the idiot starts fangirling over her cutting skills. She then pulls Mikoto's skirt to see her scissors, which makes Mikoto scream in embarrassment. Later that afternoon, Akira is walking home with Mikoto when he thinks about how hot she looked without her plot armor. Ever since then, Akira hasn't been able to control himself around Mikoto. Just then, Mikoto gives Akira his usual potion of drool and asks him if she can have some of his. However, Akira starts freaking out, knowing that if Mikoto drinks his juice, she'll know about his freaky thoughts, so she tells her he has the flu. Mikoto frantically points at a UFO in the sky, and just when Akira is distracted, Mikoto puts her finger inside his mouth. Upon tasting his mouth juice, Mikoto's heart starts pounding faster, so she asks Akira what he has been thinking about. Akira refuses to answer and runs away, leaving Mikoto confused. As Mikoto returns home, she realizes her heart is still beating really fast and wonders if it's because Akira has been imagining her plotless. The next day, Akira enters class and finds Mikoto sleeping. Just then, Mikoto's clothes disappear and reappear again in front of Akira's eyes, and he soon realizes that he has started to hallucinate. After school, when Akira tastes Mikoto's drool, his head starts spinning as he imagines Mikoto clothless again. Freaked out and overwhelmed by his feelings, Akira ends up hugging Mikoto, who dodges him and launches an attack on Akira's handkerchief with her scissors. Just then, Mikoto sees blood trickling out of Akira's forehead, and while he's chill about the scratch, Mikoto freaks out and starts apologizing to him. Akira waves it off as nothing big, but Mikoto tells him to stop by her place so she can disinfect the wound. After arriving at her apartment, Akira starts recalling the nasty thing he did when he was last here. Mikoto then sends Akira to wait in her room. Meanwhile, she aims her scissor at the photo frame to test her cutting skills, and ends up damaging the whole curtain behind it. In the meantime, Akira is busy sniffing Mikoto's bed when she enters with the first aid kit. While disinfecting his wound, Mikoto tells Akira that her hand doesn't waver when she's wielding her scissors, but she had a weird dream last night, and since then she has been feeling different. When Akira asks what the dream was, Mikoto blushes and tells him to have her drool. However, after tasting it, Akira starts feeling lightheaded as he imagines Mikoto without clothes again. Fearing that he'll end up hugging her, Akira tells Mikoto he is going home. When Mikoto tries to stop him from leaving, Akira ends up pushing her too hard, causing her to tumble on the bed. Seeing this, Akira hurries to check up on Mikoto, but slips on the first aid kit and is about to land on Mikoto when he remembers how upset Mikoto gets over being touched. So he changes position and ends up blinking his head hard against the metal frame of the bed. As Mikoto runs to help Akira, he tells her that he did it because he didn't want to hug her without permission. Hearing this, Mikoto hugs Akira, telling him that she doesn't want his last two brain cells getting damaged in freaky accidents. When it's time to go home, Akira is smiling like an idiot and asks Mikoto about the dream she had. However, she shyly tells him they were doing something and shuts the door on Akira's face, leaving him confused. Meanwhile, Mikoto aims her scissors at another frame and cuts it successfully. She then realizes that her aim is back to normal because the hug must have cured her cultured feelings. The next day, Akira comes to class wearing the gauze given to him by Mikoto, who is currently sound asleep. As he approaches Ueno, Akira realizes Ueno has a bandage on his forehead. Ueno then reveals that Oka suddenly wanted to cut his bang using a new cutting skills. However, the scissor slipped and landed on his forehead. Hearing this, Akira sighs, knowing that Oka was trying to copy Mikoto. Just then, a girl named Sawano tells Akira the teacher wants him in the office. She then notices the gauze on his forehead and removes it by telling Akira that it was falling off. As she places a band-aid on it, Mikoto wakes up and witnesses the whole scene. While Akira starts freaking out, Sawano drags him outside, where he asks her to return the gauze, which leaves Sawano confused. After school, Mikoto is waiting for Akira, who shows up moments later. Mikoto then notices that Akira is wearing her gauze, so Akira tells her that he didn't want to replace her gauze because he knows she placed it with care. Mikoto smiles and feeds Akira her drool, which suddenly causes him to hug her. After which, Akira backs away and apologizes to Mikoto, but she tells it's fine because she wanted him to hug her. With that, Mikoto heads home, leaving Akira smiling like an idiot. After returning home, Akira finds Yoko drooling in her sleep, which suddenly turns Akira into a brother from Alabama. As Yoko wakes up, Akira tells him she is drooling, before asking her if she has a boyfriend. Yoko is weirded out by the question, so she walks away, while Akira is left wondering that if Yoko had a boyfriend, he'd probably find her drooling face cute. The next day, Mikoto is in the marketplace when she notices Yoko. As she goes to say hello, Yoko thanks her for visiting Akira whenever he fell sick and invites Mikoto to have coffee with her. As they sit down to talk, Yoko suddenly grabs Mikoto's uniform, revealing that it made her nostalgic since she went to the same school as her and Akira. Yoko then asks Mikoto if Akira is dating someone, but she pretends to not know anything. Yoko then reveals that when she was Akira's age, she dated her crush for a bit. As she mentions this, Yoko shares with Mikoto how Akira saw her drooling today and asked if she had a boyfriend, which surprised her a little. Turns out, Yoko was dreaming about her ex, who had snapped a picture of he drooling. When she insisted him to throw the picture away, he told her that she looked incredibly cute while drooling. When Yoko apologizes to Mikoto for boring her out, she instead asks Yoko if she's still in touch with her boyfriend. Yoko sadly reveals that after graduation, he moved to Dagestan to train with Khabib, and then she never heard from him. However, she still wonders whether he has her picture or not. Yoko then asks Mikoto if she likes someone, and when she says yes, Yoko admits that she wants to become Mikoto's age again so she can be carefree again, because after their mother died, she had to become responsible to look after Akira. After the chat, Yoko hands Mikoto a Sakura mochi, revealing that everyone in their family loves eating it. The next day, Akira's entire family visits the graveyard, so Yoko can place some Sakura mochi on their mother's grave. After paying their respect, Yoko reveals that until Akira finds a job, she won't get married. However, Akira and their father insist that she find a boyfriend and get married to him, when Yoko reminds them that they can't even cook a meal for themselves, causing them to blush in embarrassment. The next day after school, Mikoto tells Akira that she ran into his sister and learned she had a boyfriend. This surprises Akira because he always thought Yoko was too ugly to get picked. Mikoto then asks Akira if he likes Sakura mochi, and he reveals that his late mother used to love eating those. Hearing this, Mikoto asks Akira more about his mother, but he reveals that he doesn't remember her much, because she died when he was in diapers. Upon hearing this, Mikoto tells Akira that she wants to visit his mom's grave, which shocks him a little, but he agrees. So the next day, Akira meets with Mikoto, and when he finds her in a fancy dress, he wonders why she is dressed so much. When they get to the graveyard, Mikoto puts flowers and an offering on his mother's grave, before telling Akira that she dressed up because she was meeting his mom for the first time. This leaves Akira in shock, and he admits that he never thought someone on the spectrum would be so thoughtful. Mikoto then tells Akira they should swap spits with his hand on his mom's gravestone. Akira agrees, and exchanges his drool with Mikoto, causing them both to experience a new feeling which they hadn't before. As Akira opens his eyes, he realizes that he's crying along with Mikoto, and she explains that even though he doesn't remember his mother, he cried a lot when she died. She also adds that he smiles a lot now, because his father and sister worked hard to give him a happy life. As Mikoto promises to become a source of happiness for Akira, he smiles, but later tells Mikoto that what they did was super freaky. So, in response, Mikoto tells Akira they'll be doing a lot of freaky things together, which makes him blush. Do you think Akira will get to smash Mikoto? Comment Riz if you want to know what happens next, and as always, like and subscribe for more.